Accessing databases on a server is very easy with TD Mobile. Let me show you the easiest way to do this. The easiest way is to create a new data page using the data page wizard. You select a defined data class. You define the page type. You want a list page, detail page, and edit page, for example. Choose a database connection. In this case, it's to a connection to the Mongo NoSQL database. Switch on and off any fields you don't need. And with Go, the pages are created and contain all the logic to read data, update data, and present data in a list form. So to run this application, I just switch the main form to the company list page. And now I can go ahead and test what I have done here. I'm currently using the Mongo NoSQL database server, and this is automatically being started. My browser is coming up with the application, and see, it has fetched the data from the database as I have defined that. So I can scroll through the result here, click on a single company, and go into edit mode and closing and boot outlet. Save this to the database. Okay. So my app is working with no coding, all the data reading, data updating, and create new record features to interact with the database have been implemented automatically. Let me show you how that looks in the code of TD Mobile. So basically, one thing that you need is when you work with automatic database connections, you need define a database connection. You define a database connection here, and you can choose what type of database to use: the Mongo NoSQL database, a SQL database, XML files, or a custom data interface that you would write. So you choose a connection type. I have Mongo in here. Then you choose the database name, the port, and the host name to connect to. And these values change depending on the type of database you are connecting to. The second thing you need to do is to create a data class. And the classes are here. And I do have a defined data class of the name company. And this basically is the table or collection name in the database. The data class has instance variables, and these instance variables directly map to the columns of this table company. So this table company has a column company ID and a column company name and a column country. And you'd also tell TD Mobile which one is an identity field and which one is an auto increment field, for example, so it knows how to handle the data in those columns. Once you have the data class defined, you're ready to create an application like I did before. To show you the power of this new system, I'm going back to the connections, connection definition here, and I will just change from the Mongo database to a SQL database by changing the connection type here. So I do have a SQL database which is called SQL base. The server name is 11.7. Everything seems to be right here, and just changing the settings of the connection will make my application now work with a SQL database instead of with a NoSQL database. Let me just quickly compile and test this. And now my application is accessing a SQL database, in this case the SQL-based database here, and you can see there's a connection here to that database now. And all these things like editing something do work with any of the supported data connection types. Now let's look at how the data interaction, the data operations are actually being defined. Let me go back to the company list page here and go to the outline. And then on the server side of the code here, there's a data operation browse company. This data operation has been automatically created by the data page wizard. And this data operation has a few parameters, like the connection name. The connection Mongo is the name that we are using. The data action is browse, so I get a list of data. the data class binding is a company array, and you could specify filters and sort options, but there's absolutely no code involved with these data operations. You just provide your connection name, the type of data action you want to do, like there's browse, read, edit, add, and delete, and then the binding that those values go into, and you are all set. So database access without any coding. Let's look at the company edit page. There should be a operation, or there's several data operations there. One operation, edit company, and again with the connection Mongo, data action edit, and that's all you need to do to update a database table. So moving from programming to configuration of database access. This TD mobile app that we just created can now also be run on an iPad mini or a Android smartphone or whatever mobile device you have. The data access is totally working here. You can tap on a company, you can edit things remotely. So we have an little enterprise app with automatic database access created here with TD Mobile. The strength of TD Mobile really is that you can create applications with very little effort. TD Mobile helps you a lot to generate the data classes and to get the data access going without any programming. On the other hand, if you want to do anything by hand, you still have all the options available to do heavy lifting programming if you need to do that. Use TD Mobile to create mobile HTML5 enterprise apps that access back-end data without coding. Use one system to design, develop, test, and deploy your apps. Follow us on Facebook and YouTube to learn more. Thank you.